everyone, my name is Carly and I serve as a program manager here with Junior Achievement of North Florida. Welcome to our online lesson about budgeting. So we're so excited that you're here. We're doing these lessons to help you all to discover what it is that you want to do with your money and how you want to use it wisely in the future. So today we're talking about budgeting. And we're going to do several different videos. We'll also be talking about saving, credit, and consumer protection. So keep an eye out for those. And when we're talking about each of these concepts, we're going to use a workout theme. So just like building your physical fitness, it takes time to build your financial fitness. We know we can't just go to the gym and instantly build 15 pounds of muscle the first day. It really takes time and a knowledge and understanding of how to develop those muscles to be able to get to your goals. So same thing with finances. So we're going to talk about how to do that with budgets today. So think in your mind about something that you have bought that costs some money to buy and how you were able to buy that. For me, for example, when I was in high school, I really wanted an iPod. And I know for students now, it might be hard to imagine buying an iPod when your phone has everything on it. But for us back in the day to listen to music, we had to buy a whole separate device where we would go to our computer, buy songs, plug in the iPod to the computer. It took a while, but it was worth it. So for me to buy that iPod, I had to save up money over time. I saved some money that I'd earned from a birthday, as well as some money that I had from a part-time job in high school. So there's lots of different ways that you can make sure that you can buy it. But consequences for buying those things if you don't have the money. Think about it, you might have to end up borrowing money from someone you know, or you could get into debt, which we're going to talk more about debt in another later video. But it's really important to think about how we're going to be spending it. And the way we do that is we make a plan. So just like somebody who goes to the gym, they can work with a trainer or really figure out what they're going to do to build that muscle. Same thing when it comes to your money. So a few things we're going to be talking about when we talk about managing your money is a few definitions. So first is income. Income is your money that you earn or receive either from wages or gifts. So I could have an income from a job, like when I worked in a part-time job, the checks that I got from that job were income, money coming to me, or through gifts. So if it was my birthday or a holiday and I got money, that's technically considered income because it's something that's coming into your bank account. Now the budget is the plan that we make once we have that money coming in. So it's how I decide how I'm going to spend my money over a period of time. And that budget lists out how I'm going to use my money for my expenses or the things that I'm going to spend to buy. So let's think about joining a gym. I want you to think in your mind about all of the different things that you might have to buy if you were joining a gym. Lots of different things. So you might have been thinking about a membership fee. So you pay to join it. Cool. So that only happened once. Maybe they make you pay once a year to be a member. Every month you gotta pay to be a member, right? Or maybe you're paying for clothes, all of those things. So lots of different parts of making a budget. And the thing with a budget is it doesn't look the same every month. So we have to plan for how it's a little bit different each and every month. So our fixed expenses are the things in our budget that always stay the same. So we have to think about how our different type of expenses or the money that we're going to be spending looks a little different each month. So fixed expenses, those are the kinds of things that you're buying that no matter what, always stay the same from month to month, like your rent. Every single month I always pay the same amount. The only reason it would ever change is if I moved into a different house that might have a different rent, or if after my lease was up, the rent increased, but typically it stays the same. With your gym, your monthly fee is a good example. So when I'm working on my budget, I can always guess that it's going to be the same amount. But we have some expenses that change from month to month. So we have to plan that they could be in a range of amounts. So for example, entertainment, electricity, or groceries could vary. Let's say in the summer, my air conditioning bill is going to be a lot higher. So my electricity bill would be higher. But in the winter, it would be lower. So I have to know that sometimes it could be higher and plan for that. So with working out, when we were joining the gym, let's say you bought some new workout clothes in February. Probably wouldn't need to buy new ones in March, so it would vary how much you're spending on clothes. And then finally, we have to plan for periodic expenses. So those are things that occur on an irregular basis, not usually every month. So for example, I can't really predict that my car could break down, is going to break down on the way to the gym next week. But I do know that cars break down, so I should have some money set aside in my budget to know that there's a possibility my car could break down so that I have the money for it if it happens. And doctor's bills. I can expect to go to the doctor once a year, so I can make sure my budget has some money set aside for that once a year doctor's appointment. But I don't know that I might get hurt at the gym, so I might need to go to the doctor. So I have to budget for money in case that happens. So we're going to play a little game called Budget Sort. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you different categories of the types of expenses we just talked about, as well as income. So what I want you to do is think about if the topic listed is going to be income, money coming into you, or if it's a fixed, variable, or periodic expense. So the first one, let's say I have groceries that range from $50 to $70 per week. I'll count to 5. Which one do you think that would be? And let's hope you thought variable expense. So sometimes you spend more on groceries than another week. So next up is an oil change. It costs $35. Think for a second what that category would be. Now, if you said periodic expense, that is correct. I don't have to have an oil change every single month. It happens just every once in a while. But I still have to keep it in my budget because it will come up. A yearly medical checkup for $60. I'll give you 5 seconds. Yearly medical checkup. And if you said periodic, that's right. It only comes up every once in a while. Next, we have a birthday check from grandma for $40. What category would that fall under? All right, and that's going to be income. So that's money that you have coming into you. So you don't have to plan for that $40 to go away unless you know that you're going to be putting it towards an expense. But just the check itself, that's income coming into you. Next, we have gasoline, $20 to $60 per month. All right, and that is a variable expense because each month's a little different. You drive different distances every month typically. Even if you go to the same places, it depends on the cost of the gas, all that kind of stuff. Next, we have a monthly car payment of $150. Okay, That is a fixed expense. Every single month, I pay that $150. And a weekly bus pass of $25. Weekly bus pass of $25. Also fixed. It's always going to be $25. Maybe one day they'll increase the price, but every month to month we can expect it to be $25. Entertainment, $20 to $40 per month. Entertainment, $20 to $40 per month. Yep, that is a variable expense. Some months you might go to the movies more than others. And a mobile phone bill, $35. Cell phone bill, $35. Now that is under fixed. I have had students ask me before, but sometimes if I use more data or if I buy minutes, it's not always $35. That's a good example. For some people it's fixed. If you always know that you have a certain data plan and you're paying for it. But if you do minute to minute and it changes every month, then that's a variable expense for you. So you just have to always plan for what amount you think it's going to be. Then we have babysitting earnings, $50. Babysitting earnings. Yep, that is income because you are working to get that money and it's coming into you. Yearly car insurance, $600 per year. This is saying you're only paying it one time, $600 per year. Yep, that is periodic. Let's say you decide to split that over 12 months and pay $50 a month, then that would be a fixed expense because every month you pay that amount. But if you did it all at once, it's periodic because it's not all the time. And then a pay stub for $300. Sorry, last one. Pay stub for $300. Yep, that's income. That's money that's coming into you from wages from a job. So what I would like for us to do now is let's put together a budget together. So I want you to go to janfl.org. janfl.org. Okay. And I'm going to show you from our website where you can find this resource. All right. You need to pause it. All right, so now that we're on the website, we're going to scroll down to our resources from COVID response, and we're going to scroll down to our view schedule for our Instagram Live learning lessons, because that's where we have our resource listed. We're going to scroll to high school budgeting and our budget sheet. So just scroll to where you see Thursday, April 9th, because that's what today's date is for our Instagram video when we did this lesson live. But we're so glad you're here joining us recorded. And we've got budget sheet. We're going to do the Excel worksheet version so that we can update it live together. When that downloads for you, you'll see a pop-up come up, and you'll just click that tab. Click it. And if you're not used to using Excel, that's okay. We're going to be just entering in a few pieces of information, so I'll show you how to use it. gonna do now is use this column here that says my monthly budget. And it's gonna be an opportunity for you to see, do you have enough income coming in for your expenses that you wanna spend? Or do you need to start making some cuts to stay inside of your budget? So for monthly income, this is where you're going to add all of the money that you have coming in. If you don't have a job yet, but maybe you're trying to see what it would be like to have a job, you could put in those dollar amounts there. I'm going to do this as if I was in high school. So when I was in high school, I got a monthly allowance of about $200. I know that sounds like a lot, but that was to be put towards my gas and my car insurance. Cash gifts. So again, that's something that doesn't happen all the time. It's not always your birthday or a holiday. So for me, it's April and my birthday is in July. So I'm going to leave this blank. But if you knew you had some cash gifts coming in that month, you could put it in there. Wages from work. So this is where you input how much you're making each month. So I'm going to put an estimate that I made about $300 a month when I worked at the Limited 2 when I was in high school, now called Justice. And then if you get paid any money for chores, you could put that money there. I never got chores money, I just had to do it. So you can put it there if you have something. So my total monthly income is $500. Now I have to look at my expenses, and I want to make sure that I spend less than $500 to stay within the amount that I'm making. So my monthly car payment, I had an old Volkswagen Jetta, paid about $150 a month. Every single month, so that was fixed. I also had a fixed insurance of about $50. Gas, we said, was variable, right? It changes from month to month. So I'm going to put an average here, but go towards the higher end, just so I don't spend too much. So I'm going to say I spent about $100 on gas. I drove a lot. Then I'm going to think about repairs and maintenance. This month, maybe I don't have to make any repairs. I don't have to go get my oil changed. But let's say I know that I have to next month. So that's something that I'm going to have to think about when it comes to my savings later on. And now entertainment. When I was in high school, we didn't even have internet streaming, so I couldn't have done Netflix if I wanted. But I did go out to eat a lot, so I'm going to spend $50 a month on food. I'm going to go to the movies twice, and I like to go bowling, so I'm going to spend $20 a month on bowling. Let's say too, I had a hobby or a sport that I was a part of in high school. I could add my money there. Now things that are personal. Let's say I pay $20 a month to my parents for my phone. I spend $50 a month on clothes. And this month I want to buy my friend's a birthday present. So I'm going to spend $20. And then let's say I decide to go on a field trip for school and I have to spend $15. Okay, so that's all of my expenses for the month. If you give to a charity, so like if you wanted to donate to Junior Achievement, or if you gave to a church, that's where you would put the money value in. And so you'll see my expenses were $505 that month. So this bottom cell right here is going to tell me how much money I have saved or how much I am in debt or a deficit. So sadly, I spent more than I made last month. So what I would have to do is figure out, okay, I got to cut something out. So it's now up to you to see what you're going to cut money on. So you might say, you know what, I really do have all the clothes that I need and I'm really not in need of clothes. So I'm going to cut out my clothes this month, and maybe another month I'll be able to do it when I get some birthday money. Same thing with eating out. Maybe $50 a month was you could cut that back. So you could say, oh, maybe you bring food to a picnic with your friends and then you don't have to buy food out. Or you go to less expensive restaurants. So I'm going to cut that down to $30, figure out a way to cut it. That brings my expenses to $435. So I've now saved $65. So let's say now my car does need an oil change, I could pay for that. So we always need to think about ways when we're building our budget to be able to save a little bit of money. So in review, a quick cool down from our workout for today. When we are spending our money, our goal for budgeting, like we said, is to spend less than you earned. We're going to track our income and expenses and make sure that we're always spending less than what we have coming in. And know that, yes, our spending habits do impact our personal satisfaction. Like maybe I don't get to do all the things that I'd love to do, but I'm doing it for my future so that I have some extra money for school or to make sure that I don't get into debt if I want to buy a house one day. So thank you all so much for joining us. If you would like an additional resource, you're welcome to go to this website to learn a little bit more about some practical money skills. Thanks so much.